Hello, and the Lord bless you. Such a pleasure to have you joining today. Today, I'm going to continue from my conversation with young ministers because of the demand and the questions that I've received in that regard. One of the things I'm grateful to God for, having been in ministry for almost 2 decades now, is the mercy of God in choosing the right friends. The mercy of God in choosing the right friends. Association is one thing or another thing that you must look at and pay attention to as a young person who senses the call of God, who is going to go into ministry, who perceives that you're going to go into ministry and the preaching of the gospel. Now, we all need good association, but wrong association is more negatively impacting on a young pastor than any other person. And I'll give you an example. Some years ago, there's a particular young man who I know, who by the mercies of God is currently doing great things for God in ministry as we speak. Sound, intelligent, anointed, and fulfilling purpose. Came to meet me, and then I was burdened about him because of the kind of association in his life. He was relating with people who have very unhealthy ministry practices, with money, with testimonies, with people, with ladies, with friends. Very, very difficult. But I sensed that this young man was going to go very fast, so I called him one day, and I sat him down. I said, let's talk. I perceive that you are going to go very far, but you need to sever yourself from wrong association, because wrong association will ultimately lead to wrong practices, wrong ministerial practices. Some people didn't know how to steal money until they got themselves involved with the wrong kind of friends. So this young brother, I spoke to him and I said, you cannot continue with these people. You can't continue to relate with people whose convictions are unstable and all that. And to my surprise, he accepted. He said, Pastor, you are right. I'm going to make adjustments. And he did. 3 years down the line, some of those people are now neck deep into very questionable attitude, very questionable ministerial practice. I remember a particular young man, while we were with a man of God who was discipling people and mentoring us. This young man was invited to somewhere, and then the prophet gave him good honorarium. That time he wasn't getting honorarium from anybody. He was just working in the ministry. We were working together and nobody paid us. So he went to this place, and this is as far back as maybe some 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. The young man gave him honorarium of 10,000 naira. And my God, he said 10,000. So he went again. And then the man of God began to teach him how, if you want to prophesy, you can tell somebody to stand like this, and then you get the details of the person, and then this and that and that. I cautioned him that time that your quest for quick success has always been there, but it has been amplified by a wrong relationship. You need to be careful. I encouraged him and all that. But of course, as at that time, the results he had, I didn't come close to it by any means. He had money, he had things and all that. But as I speak to you today, his convictions have been completely altered. He has gone very far. There is nothing he cannot do in the name of getting ministerial success. Association. If you want to do ministry the right way, and you want to do ministry correctly, and you want to do ministry for a long time, you want to endure the test of time, you want your impact in life and ministry to endure the test of time, listen to me carefully. You cannot afford wrong association. You cannot afford to be met with people who can do anything or say anything and they don't mind. Some young pastors started sleeping with church members because they got involved with a friend who is also very loose. Someone gave me a counsel some time ago, about how to relate with ladies and all that. Because of what he said, I deleted his number at the moment we finished that phone call. I deleted his number. If you want to go very far and you want to do it correctly, you want two things. You want to go far and you want to do it well, and then you cannot afford to have wrong association. The right kind of association will introduce you to books. I remember one of my friends, Pastor David, so many years ago, was one that introduced me to God's generals. He was one that introduced me to some men of God, tapes of Bishop David Odeko, tapes of Pastor Chris Akilome, other great Dr. Pastor Paul Neche, great men of God. He introduced me to their content. He introduced me to their books and their messages, and I fell in love with it. If I didn't have that kind of friend, chances are I would have met with friends who introduced me to wrong places. There's this prayer place, there's this thing you have to do, and there's this thing you have to use to rub on your face and all that. And before you know it, you are doing ministry without peace of mind, you are doing ministry without conviction, without satisfaction, without joy. And at the end of your life, you may have money, but you are empty. You feel so empty without any form of fulfillment. Let me caution you. And this is my assignment to you as you listen to this. Audit your friends, audit your association, audit your relationships. You need to be careful the people you relate with as a young person, so they don't introduce things to you that used to be completely alien to your conviction. This is very important. This is very important. Association is sacrosanct. Build the right kind of friends. Begin to pay attention. While I'm talking now, look around for young ministers, people or workers. Some of them may not even be called to go into ministry. Some of them might just be people who want to do the will of God and all that. Look out for them, search out for them, and relate with them. But let them have the right convictions. That way, you're already building a system of preservation. A system of preservation that will preserve your life, that will preserve your conviction, and will ensure that you do things correctly. And that is already giving you a solid foundation. So you're a young minister, you are certain about what to do in preparation for ministry, for the right time. Build the right friendships, build the right association, connect with the right people, and you will never regret it. Tomorrow, I'm going to see something that's going to be an addition to what I've said, and I believe that it's going to bless you. Again, if this is your first time, nobody is going to know if you subscribe, so go ahead and subscribe. Nobody is going to know if you like, so that more people see this video. Go ahead and like it, and it will be a blessing to you. Thank you very much, and God bless you.